Now then guys, how are we doing? Welcome back. It's the end of the season. What a season it's been. What a start to life in Northern Ireland and with Portadown. But first of all, we go through the end of season awards and then we'll look at bolstering up this squad. I think we're all aware of the areas that we need to improve. We definitely need to improve out on the left and right back areas, especially in those wing back areas. Out wide, the Teggets have done us proud. Obviously, we've got Gayassi there, but we don't really have anybody to challenge Owen Teggett out on that left-hand side. So yes, up front, we're fine. Midfield, we've been solid. Goalkeeper-wise, Mitchell, he let us down in a couple of games, but he hasn't been horrific for us. But yeah, we definitely need to add some depth to the squad. So I'm not just pulling players from absolutely anywhere and forcing them into positions. So first of all, let's have a look at the end of season awards. So here we go then, looking at the end of season review. So the star signing of the season was Ali Gilchrist. Obviously, we brought him in the January transfer window. He's a real quality player. Current ability and potential ability. He's playing to his full potential, which is 4.5 star. 29-year-old Scotsman. He is very good. Now, with that 13 heading and marking and tackling both 11, that's strength 14. He's solid at 6'2" as well. But yeah, he's the star signing for us this season. As far as our season performance, then we got a C+ in the league. The Border Police at the team staved off relegation, and we get another season in the Premier League. What about in the Peaky Blinders Irish Cup? We're obviously the winner. We got a C+ for that. They didn't think we were going to win it, and it wasn't one of our priorities, but we done it. The Bet McLean League Cup, obviously we went crashing out of that in the second round. Again, they're not overly bothered. And winning the cup, they're not bothered. So realistically, the focus for the club and the board is just remaining in the Premier League. Moments to remember then, our biggest win was that 5-1 victory against Carrick, when we needed it as well. Match to remember, a 4-2 victory over Cliftonville, and then goal of the season was in the 4-1 victory against Glenavon. McLeod with the Portadown central midfielder delights fans and pundits alike by scoring a well-struck effort from distance, and that was towards the back end of the season as well. We completely had a change of fortune. If I'm completely honest, I don't know what done that. I don't know what the catalyst was, but it doesn't matter as the performance was fantastic and we stayed in the league. Finances wise and club reputation wise, and so club reputation was still a 1.5 star national reputation club. Sponsorships and everything were up. Sponsorships, broadcast revenue and competition prize money was up. Corporate and hospitality was down, and so was match day and commercial, but we're not overly bothered about that. Finances will be what they be. Our top selling shirt was Bonnis. We only sold 100 shirts last season. And this is how we lined up then. So my best 11 was Mitchell in goal, Jordan, McCowan, Little and McGrory, with Ward, Wilson and McLeod in the middle. Both Teggets out wide and Bonnis up front. Bonnis getting 14 goals. Teggett, Owen Teggett getting 13. Stephen Teggett getting 6. McLeod with 11 goals as well is incredible. Accolades wise then, no awards for me this season unfortunately. But player awards, fans player of the season was Bonnis. Young player of the season was Bonnis as well. He's 24-year-old now. I wouldn't say he qualifies to be the young player of the season. Signing of the season was Gilchrist. Goal of the season was McLeod. Top goal scorer was Bonnis with 14. Most assists, Teggett with 9. Most player of the match awards was McLeod with 5. Highest average rating was Bonnis with a 7.1. And most passes completed per 90 minutes was McLeod with 58. What about competitions awards then? There's none there. Record breakers wise, obviously there's plenty of that, solely because it's my first season in charge. We'll talk about those record breakers next season, once we've had something to compare them against. History in the making then, your hard work and effort paid off on the pitch, and such a feat didn't go unrewarded at the end of the season awards ceremony. Once Portadown got rolling early in the season, it looked hard to stop them going on to avoid relegation. I don't think that's the case. In fairness, we were still struggling going into April. Club vision and season expectations then. So club culture is obviously to develop players using the club's youth system. We haven't really got the money to go out and bring players in. And our 5-year plan is to work within the wage budget. At the end of next season then, we just need to avoid relegation again. And in the Europa Conference League, it's to reach the second qualifying round. Hold on a minute. Does that mean we've got some kind of European football? Surely not. Let's have a look. We have got Europa Conference League football. So there you go. What a start that is. We've got European football next season, which is absolutely massive. Reached the second qualifying round. I absolutely love that, and I did not expect to see Europa Conference League football this season. End of the 25-26 season then is to work on becoming established in the Premier League. We can do that. I'm going to accept that vision. I don't think we need to do anything. Squad dynamics wise then, how is that going? So at the minute I've got Lee Bonnis who wants to leave for a bigger club. Obviously we've agreed that if I get about 60k that I'd take it, and Andrew Roach wants more game time. Roach may leave us this time round, but team cohesion's very good and so is club atmosphere. But managerial support is average. Top influences wise then, I've got no team leaders. Anybody opposes? No. I think everybody opposes, didn't know when I took over, but I've got 4 players as supporters, 18 players that have no real opinion. End of season team meeting, and what am I saying to the guys? The season's over, well done for staying up. It's been a great effort. I'm looking for a top half finish next time round. I'm looking for a safe mid-table finish. you're setting us up to fail. I don't think I'm setting us up to fail. They're liking that. I'm going to stick with what we're at. That's exactly the sort of reaction I was after. I want to try and reach the Europa Conference League proper now. Just let's give a good account of ourselves there. And that's it. So all enjoy your break, get on your jollies, and we are done. So that's not too bad. They still don't expect we'll have a safe mid-table finish though. They're expecting us to go down, and it's just not going to happen. I'm not going to get drawn into a relegation fight again. So injury report then. It's got to be Kerr, surely. He's got to be up there. Yeah, Kerr with 4 and Luke Wilson with 4 as well. He was out for 7 weeks with a broken toe. Kerr, obviously, he loves a sprained ankle ligament. That was twice this season. End of squad season break, then they all disappear. And Bocelli's thrilled with my new signing. Who's my new signing? Johnny Elliott. I think this is one of my youngsters. It is the 15-year-old to come through our youth setup. We've signed him, obviously, on a permanent contract. So board set the initial budget said, so my wage budget is 6.5k. And I've got 36k transfer budget. Finances-wise then, what's the expectation? I'm expected to spend over that. Do I just chuck all of my transfer budget into it? I'm going to, you know. I'm going to chuck it all in there. I'm going to keep 6 grand in the transfer budget just for fees. But we've got up to 7k per week now to spend. I think that's the way to go. Obviously, we need to have depth. We're going to need more players in the squad. Right, so we didn't see the other game for this. So Cliftonville take on Ballymallard. Now, like I say, I'd expect Cliftonville to win this one and be staying in the league. It's 1-1. They win 5-2 on aggregate. And Cliftonville will remain in the Northern Irish Premier League next season. So I think looking at the squad depth then, we're going to stick with the same formation next season. It's basically a 4-3-3. But we're going to go with Bonis and Sally up top. Obviously, we've got Andrew Roach as well, who Roach may leave us this season. If I can get a little bit of money for him, it may be time to move him back on. He's a good squad depth option, but he wants to be a regular starter. Obviously, out on that left-hand side, we've got Teggett. That is about it. We've got Bork, who doesn't play there. He doesn't want to be there. And Giassi can play out there. But on the other side, we've got Teggett and Giassi, that is it. In the midfield, I don't think we need to do anything. So we've got McLeod, Wardle, Wilson, Smith, McCowan, loads of players there. Obviously, Ward is the player in the midfield with McLeod and Smith. You know, again, I've got those options in a defensive sense as well, so we're fine. Out on the left-hand side, we've got Ali Gilchrist and Nathan Kerr. And out on the right-hand side, I've got Kerr and McGrory. Again, McGrory may be leaving us, so I need to strengthen out on those wide areas. That is where the improvements are needed. In the centre of defence, we've got Gilchrist, McCowan, McNally, Little. I do need another player there, because for me, Gilchrist and Little are my 2 starters. McCowan and McNally, they are fringe players. And then in goal, we've got Connor Mitchell. Gabriel Sava, he's retiring. And then we've got John Mitchell, a youngster who, for me, is a fairly decent goalkeeper. He played 1 game this season and conceded 3 goals. 17-year-old. We may look at bringing another player in there as well. So that is it, squad depth-wise. So I think for me, what we need to do now is we just need to move forward to the start of the season. Well, I say the start of the season, to the start of the European campaign, I think is the way to go. And we can see what we can bring in and hopefully bring some quality into these depth areas. Right then, guys, we are back after the break. And one thing I really should have spoken about is Druids. Should have actually had a look and see how Druids get on. So let's have a look and see how they done last season. So I already know this, obviously. I've had a look. But let's have a look at how they got on last season. So obviously we were challenging for a top spot. We really were. But Connors Key ended up winning the league with 71 points. TNS, 67 points on the board. They drew 10 times. I think if I'd stayed, that was our league to win. As Druids ended up finishing off in 4th place. 54 points on the board. However, they did get a Europa Conference League place. So they are in the Europa Conference League with ourselves this season. But what happened to Druids then last season after I left? So when we look at the schedule, let's have a look. I left the club here. So at that game against Carmarthen, 4-1 in the Welsh Cup 3rd round. And then they lost 3 games on the bounce to TNS, Connors Key and Barla. In fairness, they were the top 3 sides. Verdun drew 1-1 against Barla again. But they've had an absolute shocker. They had a fairly decent end to January. February, they'll have got 1 point out of a possible 12. Then they seemed to turn it around. They got themselves out of trouble when it actually mattered. And they ended up winning 2-0 against Bangor City in Europa League playoff final. So they actually got themselves in there. So in fairness to them, they didn't win the league. They had a bit of a shocker, in fairness. It just shows how well we were doing and how we were performing above expectations. We were actually unbeaten all the way until that game against Barry, where we lost 2-1, and we didn't actually lose another game until obviously somebody else took over. So the manager now is Christian Edwards. So Christian Edwards, I think he was in charge at Cardiff Met before he joined us, but yeah, he takes over and he's doing all right. So let's get back to the transfers then. So finances wise, at the minute, I've got 178k in the bank. European football, that's what it does to you there. And transfer budget wise, we've got 28,000 left to spend, and I am probably going to spend it, as when we look at the transfers and the potential ones, 5 players from TNS. So I've made a decision that yes, I'm going to go to Wales and I'm going to try and take TNS's best players. They are born winners. A lot of them are proven winners, and they'll have that kind of experience about them, and that's what I need. Now, yes, there's some Englishmen in there, there's some Welshmen in there, but there's also some Northern Irish players in there. So I'm not going to go through these players. As you can see there, I've got some big offers in. 11.75k for Julian Carey, and Conor McKendry, 9.5k to potentially bring him in. Now, if all those transfers go through, I'll have 27k spent. Obviously, I'll do some damage to the wage budget. We'll work on that after the fact. But yeah, a lot going on at TNS at the minute, and I'm trying to, like I say, trying to bring in 5 players to add some winner mentality to my squad. So there's only one player that's left us then. Andrew Roach is still with us, but he has gone out on loan to Connah's Quay. So he has gone to the Welsh Premier League Champions, out on loan there. I like him, I rate him, I think his attributes are good, but he just doesn't seem to do it for us. You know, he had that fantastic start at Flint Town, where he scored 11 goals, and I basically ruined him bringing him to Druids. 13 goals in 12 appearances in his first half of season with us. Then he played 20 games and scored 9 goals. Then in the second season, before I left, he played 12 times without a goal. We then brought it to Portadown. He scored 3 goals in 9 games. We scored 1 on his debut, and then 2 towards the back end of the season. So he hasn't really been prolific. Connah's Quay come in, wanted to take him on for 1.2k as well, you know, on the loan. And that's decent money for us. That's an exceptional amount of money, 1.2k. But yeah, he's gone out on loan. So Andrew Roach will be with Connah's Quay till the end of the season. So the first play through the door then is Dominic Hamilton. So I've gone back to Druids again. This guy was their highly rated youngster. We know about him. He played out on that right-hand side, and he was basically ever present after the youth intake. Now, as you can see here, 2 times in his first season, then 27 games and 26 the season after. And now I've brought him in on a free transfer. Quality player, current ability 4-star, potential ability 5-star. The crossing and dribbling, obviously, as you know, when I like to play my wingman, I want someone who can swing the ball into the box. So not quite there. But at this level, I'm not going to get 10s and 11s in there. Acceleration and pace, 10 and 12. Tackling 14, marking 9. So defensively, he can do his business as well. So a decent player. We know what he's about, and he's got 5-star potential. The next player through the door then was a 25-year-old Englishman, Benny Ashley Seal. Now, he wants to play up front, but he can play out left and right, and he's probably going to play in those wide areas, as he has got the pace. With acceleration and pace, 14 and 15, so he can do the business ace. Finishing is also 11 as well. Long shots 11, penalty taken 12, so he has got that about him. Now, we brought him in on a free transfer from Bangor City, where he only played 2 times last season. That is the worry. But again, I'm not playing him up front. Going to play him out in the wide areas. Currently valued 55k. Obviously, I'm not going to get money for any of these players, but potential ability is 4-star, current ability is 3.5-star. Then I've brought in another player that's been with us before, Jake Burton. He was absolutely prolific for us when he was at Druids. We had him for 2 seasons. He scored 12 goals in the first season with us, then 13 in the second season. So, yeah, we all know what Jake Burton's about. He'll be the front man. Obviously, him, Bonis and Sally will do the business for us this season. Then I needed to strengthen at the back, and I brought in Lewis Lomas, a 23-year-old Englishman who can play straight across the back 4. Now, he's coming in as a centre-back with acceleration and pace both 12, so he has got that about him. Heading 10, marking 12, tackling 11. Decent player, current ability 3.5-star, potential ability 4.5-star. And I brought him in from Brackley for 7.75k, when he played 44 times in the National League North last season. Very good player for us. Started his career at Norwich. He will be solid. And then finally, I've brought in a new gen, an 18-year-old Mexican who's being capped at under 23 level. Now, you know, obviously with these new gen regens, you always get a decent one. And Diego Noriega has joined us from, I think it was actually Arsenal. So he left Arsenal on a free transfer, come straight to us. I'm quite surprised I got that work permit, but obviously that English nationality will be in there as well. Current ability 4-star, potential ability 5-star. Can play as a striker, not going to play there with finishing of 7. He is going to play out on that right-hand side. That crossing and dribbling, 7 and 8 isn't too bad. Pace acceleration, 14. Passing 12. Vision 11. Work rate 13. This guy, this may be the first gem that we've unearthed. So tactics-wise, then we are going to stay the same way with a 4-3-3. At the minute, I've got Mitchell in goal, Lomas, Gilchrist, Little and Hamilton at the back with Warden at defensive role, McLeod and Smith in the middle, Ben Ashley Seal and the Reagan out wide with Bonis up front. Obviously, both of the Teggarts missing out there. We've also got Gayassi. Obviously, I've got Burton who can play up front. I've got McGrory that can replace Hamilton. We've got Kerr who's always injured. Got Wilson who can play in the midfield. We've got a real quality team now with some real quality depth. So dynamics-wise then, team cohesion's good, club atmosphere is very good, and Maggio support is good. Lee Bonis obviously wants to move to a bigger club, but there has been no offers as of yet. However, if an offer does come in, I will be letting him go. as that kind of money would be fantastic for the club. I've got 6 players as supporters, 16 players that have no real opinion of us, and still no team leaders. However, I've got nobody that is against me now, and that is the big thing. So competitions for this season then, we've got the Danks Bank Premiership, the Europa Conference League, obviously, which we're still trying to play through, the Sadler's Peaky Blinder Irish Cup, the Bent McLean League Cup, and obviously that Mid-Ulster Cup as well. So we've won the Peaky Blinder Irish Cup and the Mid-Ulster Cup. We've still got that League Cup there as well. What about our expectation in the Premier League this season then? So season preview wise, we're expected a 7th place finish. So can we break into the top 6? Obviously, do we then really get that opportunity at European football again? As the Media Dream 11 goes, we haven't got any players in there, which is a surprise as we have got some decent players. However, when you've got the likes of Linfield, Glentoran, Crusaders, Coleraine in there, it would be quite hard to break into, especially given our performance last season. But last of all then, looking at the schedule. So schedule-wise, we already have had some Europa League games. We took on Ararat Armenia. So we won them 2-1 at home and then went to their place and won 1-0. So we're now going to take on Pirin Balagvrgrad. I've absolutely ruined that, but we'll just call it Pirin because it's much easier for us and I can just about pronounce it. So yes, but in the league, we're going to start off with games against Coleraine, Linfield, Dungannon, Ards and Larne. Obviously, Ards, the team were promoted last season. So yeah, we have got a difficult start, but we're not going to really know how this team works together until we actually get the league campaign underway. As obviously, like I say, we've been quite decent in the pre-season and in those Europa League conference places, but we're going to come up against a much bigger team in Pirin now. When we have a look here, it says they're a dangerous opponent who will make life very hard for us. So there may be an opportunity for us to get past. Not quite sure. You never know. We may end up against Druids at some point. So yes, that is it then, guys. I'm happy with the squad. I'm happy with what we've done. Obviously, we're going to come back for those games against Pirin in the next episode. Nothing's going to have changed because I'm at that point now anyway. So there's going to be no change in the transfer market. We'll discuss that as it happens between games. So yes, thank you very much for watching. Stay safe and I'll catch you later. Ta-ra.